Romulus News with Doug Walker.
We're at 8:36 at Rome's News Talk WRGA. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday morning, and we welcome to the studios via phone Blake Tillery from down in Vidalia, Georgia, who is a candidate for lieutenant governor. But we've been talking, Blake, you've got ties to Rome, particularly up to North, family ties up in North Rome.
Well, close to where you were, Doug. Obviously, my grandparents lived off of Cooper Street, off of North Avenue and North Broad, which turns out you lived at the end of Cooper Street.
Yep, I was right there where you turn off of North Avenue onto Cooper Street. I was the first house on the left.
I used to get in trouble if I rode my bike that far. I couldn't go quite that far down the street. I had to stop a little further up. Mama and Papa lived up the hill a little bit. So I'll tell you, calling in this morning, dialing a 291 prefix was a little nostalgic. 706-291. I remember their number still. It's 4165. Last four were different from yours, but a little nostalgia there this morning.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, Blake, you've been involved in politics in Georgia from down in South Georgia for a number of years now, and you have made the decision to seek the lieutenant governor's office. Tell us why you made that decision.
Yeah, well, first tell you how we ended up. My family, obviously, my aunt still lives up in Armurchie, and my grandparents have since passed away. Dad worked for the power company, of course, so he worked at Hammond, then at Bowen, and came down here when they started Plant Hatch. So that's how we ended up down in South Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Papa worked at the pepperell mill, and then Mama worked in Celanese, so you know why we lived right there off of North Broad.
Yeah.
But I got elected down here to the county commission and ran for basically on a really simple principle of keeping taxes low. We reduced the property tax rate here in Toombs County every year I was chairman. Then I ran for the Senate. We've been able to cut the state income tax by about 15% so far, and really ran on a very conservative agenda, and I think that's why I'm the best candidate for this race. I'm the most conservative, and I have a plan to eliminate the state income tax.
And that plan is a gradual plan? It's not all going to happen at once, right?
You can't do it all at once, but you also don't have to wait 20 years. And I think that's what people want to see. They want to see a plan to do that. We've seen Tennessee, not too far away from your home. We didn't figure a way to do this. Obviously, Florida, not too far away from my home's figured out how to do it. North Carolina are doing it too. Georgia can do this. And look, when you're at a point right now where families in Floyd County are feeling the crunch on groceries, they're feeling the crunch on child care especially, feeling the pain at the pump, then this is something we can do. The most money that the state takes from its taxpayers, that the state does, is income tax. We don't charge a property tax at the state side. So we can give everyone a 5% raise if we can figure out how to do what our neighboring states have done. Luckily, since I've chaired the budget for 7 years, I can show you how to do it.
Well, you probably are well acquainted with our friend up here, Chuck Huffstetler, and I know he's been working to try to get these taxes under control as well. Blake, one of the things that is a big deal up here right now is House Bill 581, and that's certainly an opportunity for voters across the state to find another source to replace at least a significant portion of property taxes. But yet I think there's some concerns about doing some tweaking to that 581 legislation. Do you see any of that perhaps coming up in the next session?
Well, let's talk about that for a second. You mentioned Senator Huffstetler, who was one of the people who helped craft 481. The statistics show that if governments will adopt 481, county governments and city governments, and then pass a floss, a 1 cent sales tax that has to be used to reduce property taxes, that you will end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of Georgia cities and counties not having to levy a property tax. And I think that right now, when, again, folks are on fixed incomes, they're seeing record high inflation, they're getting pushed out of their homes by property taxes because of reevaluations. Georgia's a place that people want to be, and our friends from New York and California have been paying such high prices for homes that they see a house on North Broad or Cooper Street like you and me do, and they see it listed for $400,000, and they think it's a steal, and you and me think it's the most overpriced thing ever.
You hit that nail on the head.
Yeah, so that's driving up the cost of valuations because of the way our property tax law is done. Now, the county commission and the city council can still drop the millage rate, and that's what we did when I was county chairman. But if they're not going to do that, that's why you saw Senator Huffstetler and others move forward with 581 to say, hey, man, you can't push people out of their homes just by raising the valuations and not being willing to drop the millage rate. You led me right into this, Doug, so thanks for walking me down these roads today. That's why I'm proud to have Senator Huffstetler's endorsement in this race. He and I work together and write a column based on finances, state finances, each month to try to keep our colleagues updated. And also, he played football with my dad up there in North Rome, so I had a little bit of a head start towards getting his endorsement, I'm sure.
I imagine so. How hectic is the campaign? I mean, we're still a year away. How much of a strain is campaigning going to be going all across the state?
It's a darn big state, and luckily I knew this, driving 4.5 hours back and forth to my grandparents' house for years. But it's even bigger than that. You still got another hour north and another hour and a half south of me, and that's just 2 of the corners, not all 4. It is busy. You're absolutely right. But it's worth it, and we're making our push to get to every single county. You're going to hear an announcement soon where we're going to be able to say that we have organized and have county chairs in every county. So we're pushing it hard. And while it's a year away, let me remind you of this, too. All the candidates that I'm running against are in the state legislature. So we have to have all of our funding done, raise all the money we're going to do for this race before December or by December, because the state law prohibits us from being able to raise money during session, which is actually a very good rule. You don't want legislators raising money during session while we're voting on bills. But once we come out of session in April, the election's in May, so there's not time to do that. That's probably why these races are starting a little bit earlier. They are, like you said, 6-7 months away, but 3 or 4 of those months we're going to be in the legislative session trying to eliminate the state income tax. I'm not going to wait till I'm lieutenant governor to do that. Do the job you have now if you want the next one.
Amen to that. Is there any concern from your perspective, Blake, about midterm elections and the impact that that's going to have next year going forward?
Statistics show that the president's party usually loses seats. I think only twice in the past 100 years has the president's party not lost seats in the midterm. But I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on the issues that I think Georgia citizens care about. They care about their pocketbooks. They realize that they're not able to afford gas, child care, and groceries. They care about gender extremism. Look, I've introduced legislation and gotten it through the Senate that stopped taxpayer funding for transgender surgeries. Folks in our neck of the woods, whether it's South Georgia or Northwest Georgia like you, realize that they're not having Blue Cross Blue Shield pay for their elective surgeries. Why should state taxpayer dollars be paying for elective transgender surgeries? And I've fought against sanctuary cities and illegal immigration, holding sanctuary cities accountable for crimes that were committed by illegal aliens. I think that resonates with voters, and I think it resonates with Georgians. And there are a few other issues that I care about specifically that maybe don't resonate as much with Georgia voters. Like, for instance, me and my wife are foster parents. I care a lot about what we're doing in the foster care market. Don't know that necessarily resonates as much with voters, but I do know that the issues concerning economics, concerning fighting gender extremism, concerning fighting illegal immigration, which are positions that I hold strongly, resonate with the voters that I'm asking for their vote here in May and then again in November.
Well, good introduction to Blake Tillery this morning. Blake, perhaps we can have you back on again sometime in the near future.
Thank you a lot, Doug. Great talking with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All righty. Thank you so much.